Welcome to the Mindfulness Meditation Podcast presented by the Rubin Museum of Art. We are a museum in Chelsea, New York City that connects visitors to the art and ideas of the Himalayas and serves as a space for reflection and personal transformation. I'm your host, Tashi Chodron. Every Thursday, we present a meditation session inspired by a different artwork from the Rubin Museum's collection and led by a prominent meditation teacher from the New York area. This podcast is a recording of our weekly in-person practice. In the description for each episode, you will find information about the theme for that week's session, including an image of the related artwork. Our Mindfulness Meditation Podcast is presented in partnership with Sharon Salzberg and teachers from the New York Insight Meditation Center, the Interdependence Project, and Parabola Magazine, and supported by the Frederick P. Lenz Foundation for American Buddhism. And now, please enjoy your practice.
Welcome to Mindfulness Meditation at the Rubin Museum of Art. I'm Jacqueline Smith, Manager of Programs and Education, and I'm delighted to be your host today. We are a global hub for Himalayan art with a home base here in New York City, and we are so glad to have all of you join us for our weekly program where we combine art and meditation. Inspired by our collection, we will first take a look at a work of art. We will then hear a brief talk from our teacher, Michel Pascal, and then we will have a short sit of 15 to 20 minutes for the meditation guided by him. The theme for the month of August is interconnectedness, and the work of art that we have chosen for today is entitled Earth, Wood, Nectaris, and Plateau Medications. It's on view on the theater level of the museum, so just outside these doors, and you can see that this is an exquisite thangka. One thing that's really remarkable about it is that it's contemporary in nature. It was made between the years 1995 and 1996, so that's really exciting. We have so many historic examples of thangkas in our collection, and it's nice to see the living tradition of thangkas today. And this painting depicts a vast array of healing substances, including minerals, trees, shrubs, resins, and even bodily fluids, emphasizing the deep interdependence between nature and human health. Tibetan medicine is holistic in nature. Tibetan doctors' diagnostic techniques factor in the age, personality, diet, behavior, and environment of the patient, as well as the time of year. Doctors counsel patients towards well-being by prescribing herbal medicines, advising on lifestyle choices like food and yogic exercise, and suggesting spiritual practices and rituals. This painting is part of a series of 79 that illustrate the principles of Tibetan medical theory. It acts as a guide for physicians and healthcare workers. Healing herbs are portrayed in intricate detail. The variety of natural medicines illustrates the interconnectedness of all sentient beings. I have a few announcements to share with you. This is literally just in. The contract was just signed today. You're the first to hear it. The e-blast hasn't even gone out to our Rubin audience yet. I'm elated to announce that our mindfulness meditation program will continue in person even after the Rubin closes the doors of this building on October the 6th. Yes. So we hope that all of you will join us in our new home for the program, which will be the New York Insight Meditation Center. Many of our mindfulness meditation teachers are actually associated with that particular meditation center, and it's actually conveniently located to here. The address is 115 West 29th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue, so it's just about a half mile from here, and we're going to be keeping the same day of the week and the same time. So starting on Thursday, October 10th, you can join us there at 1 o'clock. And I thought that you would all really appreciate hearing that as soon as the contract was finalized. So now let's bring on our teacher for today, Michel Pascal. Michel Pascal is a meditation teacher for over 25 years. He's led successful programs for prisoners, which help prevent suicides and reduce reoffending. He's written 20 books on spirituality, including Meditation for Daily Stress, 10 Practices for Immediate Well-Being. Known as the Medicine Voice, he's performed at Carnegie Hall and played at the Peace Day concert in Times Square in September of 2023. In December of 2023, he presented his methods at the United Nations. Michelle, we are so honored to have you join us for today's session, and I was inspired to learn that you recently expanded your practice to encompass not only serving prisoners and helping to reduce recidivism, but that you're also now helping the homeless and vulnerable youth who are at risk. So we're deeply honored to have you here today to lead today's session. Thank you so much for being here.
O mani Thank you to each of you. Thank you for your coming. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you to each of you. Every emotion is very contagious because every emotion is an energy that we create with our mind. That I say to you, it's not an opinion, it's a scientific proof. In astrophysics, we prove now that every emotion that we create modify the particles subatomic, the atoms. For example, when you arrive at the Rubin Museum, each time I arrive, I feel a very special energy, the lineage of all the masters. And of course, I am here to offer this class to my Rinpoche, Shepa Dorje Rinpoche, and all the Nyingma tradition, and all the spiritualities. So every emotion is very contagious. And everyone, we have the responsibility to calm everyone, to be kind with every person that we meet. Because when we are stressed, when we overthink, we don't realize enough how all is interconnected. Interconnection, this is the topic of today, chosen by Jacqueline and the Rubin. All is interconnected. When we are stressed, when we overthink, as Diamshi, the Tibetan doctor, was explaining, you know, my friends, from the frontal cortex, we send immediately an energy to every cell of our body. It's like an electric circuit, like an electricity. We send our emotions in our stomach. We send our emotion in our liver, in our heart, in our blood pressure. We send our emotion to the people who live close to us. It's amazing when we are stressed, we don't realize how we damage the life of people who are living just close to us. There are a lot of experiences in science, as you know probably, about the plant. When you have some plants at home, if you are stressed, the plant, they suffer. If you are calm, the plant feel better. There is an amazing new experience when a scientist bring a matches, a fire, close a plant, like he wanted to burn the plant, and immediately the plant contract. Imagine, we are a plant. All is interconnected. So when we are calm, what an amazing present that we offer to our family, to our friends. Everyone, we have the responsibility to be calm. Many times when I go to take a coffee, Starbucks is not a good coffee, but it's my meditation. When I say I would like a cappuccino with almond milk, I take care of the person who prepare my cappuccino. Every time, every day, we meet something. We must be very present. A few days ago, a journalist asked me, Michel, who is for you the best meditation teacher in America? I said, the best teacher, this is the next person that we will meet today. The next time you will say to someone, hello, I am happy to see you. You are my teachers. My Rinpoche say all time, Michel, don't become my disciple, but become the guru of your life. Become the guru of your life. So, to calm the mind, this is the most beautiful present. Imagine you are a child, you go back home, and daddy or mommy are quiet. This is amazing. You meet your friends this evening, and you are calm. What a present that you give to your friends. As you know, in Buddhism, we think all the time about the death. We prepare, you know, we have some special practices that we train every day to be ready when the moment will appear. Because the only thing that we can be sure it will appear. And the more we think about that, the more we appreciate how life is beautiful. So to me, to be with each of you, to see you, to feel your soul, what an amazing moment that we have all together. But the question of our life starts after the door. It's easy when we are here to calm the mind. But how to calm the mind after the class? This is the question. We forget like that. We forget immediately. How to don't forget? We don't forget, of course, when we train every day. You can watch again this podcast. You can watch all the podcasts at the Rubin. As we say in a monastic life, we ruminate the teaching. We ruminate. This is the same teaching every day. But we say, I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget. We are in the street. We calm our mind. We take the train. We calm our mind. Me, I love to call taxis. It calms my mind. I say, hello, how much I must pay? They are stressed, but I love this moment. It seems stupid to make call, to make paperwork. This is a beautiful practice to don't forget. We say bye-bye to our children. We say good night. We say good morning. We prepare the breakfast. Every situation is a teaching. There is not a time to meditate and a time to be stressed. When we consider meditation like that, we understand nothing in meditation. When people say, oh, I have my meditation class at 7 p.m., but at 8 p.m. they are again stressed, they don't do meditation. They do blablatation. The blabla. This is the difference between blablatation and meditation. In blablatation, we try to imitate a monk. We have mala, bracelet, beautiful girls on Instagram. They do blablatation in bikini with a matcha tea. Hey, take a deep breath. My poor babies. This is a blabla. It means it's not concrete. Meditation in Tibetan tradition, as you saw Diamshi, the doctor, and all the lineage of the masters who are present at the Rubin through the statues, through the lineage, they say that meditation, it means exactly I train my mind in my daily life. So we use any situation of the life to don't forget. To finish this little talk, my friends, after the door, remember our class. Remember this moment. It's just a few minutes, but keep in your mind this moment. Make a mental picture. Ruminate the teaching. This is what we do with the prisoners of Los Angeles. I have explained to you many times, since 10 years, we have the best result of America in LA. Every day, we work with around 30,000 prisoners. We have zero suicide. And 92% of the prisoners never return to jail. In California, 80% return to jail. On 100% of the prisoners who follow the program, 92% never return to jail. They find a job, they rebuild a family. we can change our mind. We can change the world. We extend this program, as Jacqueline was explaining, to the homeless of Los Angeles. They are in the tent at Skid Row. The first time I was giving a class for them, I did not know what to expect. My friends, the homeless of LA were so concentrated, so respectful. They are amazing people who practice meditation. They were so kind. Today, in our room, we have a special guest. It's not me. It's this person who is here. Ed is the person who is Noura, who founded the program, the first program in the world for the homeless. They are the special guest. Omar is our special guest. He's an angel. So, just to finish, I will lead for you a short meditation as we do every day with the prisoners. It's a meditation to dissolve our emotions. You know, Chöpa Dorje Rinpoche teach me all the time that when you make a dream, you can feel some sensation during the dream. It can be a beautiful dream or a nightmare. And when you wake up, you say, oh my gosh, thanks God it was a dream. This is the same during the day. All what we perceive, all what we see, it's like in a dream. But when you calm your mind, you wake up. You realize it was a dream. All what we see, it's a dream, because the brain works the same when we are awake or when we sleep. So in this short meditation, we visualize our emotions or thought like a cloud in the sky. As you know, an emotion has no form, no size. We cannot catch an emotion. But we can visualize our emotion like a cloud in the sky. And with this practice, with our breath, like a wind, we dissolve mentally the thoughts, the clouds, the emotion. We have too much thought all the time. We overthink all the time. We think too much for nothing. It's our favorite addiction. So let's meditate. Let's dissolve our emotion. Let's meditate like a wind. And just we close our eyes. We are sitting down in a comfortable position. We do nothing. Just we are sitting down. And we visualize our mind. Our mind is like a sky, an infinite sky. And it's a reality. We are made of sky. We are made by the same atoms that you can find in the universe. So we visualize our mind. And in our mind, we see some clouds, some dark clouds, some dark emotions. We breathe in like a wind, and we dissolve the clouds. and immediately we feel better. Let's do it again. You visualize your mind like a sky. You will breathe in like a wind, and when you will exhale with your breath like a wind, you dissolve mentally the clouds, the dark clouds in your mind, the emotions, the fatigue. Let's do it again. Breathe in like a wind. Dissolve. Again. Dissolve. Again. And we stay like that. Our mind is like a sky. No thoughts, no emotions, pure vacuity. We stay like that, calm, relax, empty. 1 second, 2 seconds, 4, 5 seconds, calm, quiet. Can listen to music. Life is beyond emotions. Life is beyond emotion. Umani peme mani pemeum. It means all, may all I can say today be full of love. May all I can think today be full of love. All I can see, all I can say, all I can do, be full of love. For every person that I will meet today in this life. Oh, mani so much to each of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Michel.
Thank you.
Grateful to you for leading us in this meditation.
Thank you.
And it's a joy to listen to the healing power of your voice.
Oh. It's a karaoke.
So
I don't sing real. It's a karaoke, no, I joke. Thank you so much to each of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes this week's practice. To support the Rubin and this meditation series, we invite you to become a member at rubinmuseum.org/membership. And to stay up to date with the Rubin Museum's virtual and in-person offerings, sign up for our monthly newsletter at rubinmuseum.org/enews. I am Tashi Cherdern. Thank you so much for listening. Have a mindful day.